Most people are broke, and being broke is expensive. When you talk to people about money, to always say nothing I could do. People only get rich by screwing other people. I think that mindset is so bad because you're literally saying that you're powerless and there's nothing you could do to switch your situation. And if you believe that, then that actually becomes your reality. So why say that? Why think like that? Why not be optimistic that you could change it and then pursue it and then become obsessed? Because if you listen to anyone's biography, any successful person's biography, that they come from nothing, the one similar thing with all of them is that they never gave up. They kept going regardless how tough things got. They just never stopped. They just kept going until they became successful. It's my mindset, and I'm going to document the entire thing so you guys could be the judge if what I'm saying is correct or not. But I never want to come off like I know it all, because I don't, and I'm trying to figure it out. But I always recommend for people to read books. I went from working a regular job, hating my life, to reading one book that changed everything for me, and that was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So books I would recommend is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and The Richest Man in Babylon, and Think and Grow Rich. Those three books will be like the perfect books to start your journey of entrepreneurship and just changing your mindset, working on yourself. Because I know a lot of the gurus say invest in yourself, but then they want to sell you something. But when I say invest in yourself, I mean like books and like YouTube videos, anything where you could try to develop your mind and change your perspective. If you come from a family where you have no example of wealth, or you have no example of people that are doing good financially, their opinions are going to be based on their reality. So then you're going to take that in, and then you're going to continue that cycle. But you have to break that cycle. So you can't take advice from people that you don't look up to. And that's the hard truth. And I'm not saying they're bad people, but financially, you shouldn't be taking advice from them. You should only be taking advice from people that are higher than you. And I can only give advice from being someone that makes six figures. That I'm not a millionaire, but I'm working on it. And then eventually I'm going to get there, just because I fully believe that I'm going to get there. Because I got the game plan. I've seen people around me do it, and they showed me how they did it. They gave me a step-by-step on how they did it. So all I need to do is put in the work. It's taboo to talk about money. And it's crazy because it's taboo to talk about money in these neighborhoods and this demographic of people. But we're the ones that need to talk about money so we can fully understand it. I don't think my mom or my father ever spoke to me about money, ever growing up. There was not one conversation about it. If anything, there was just complaining. We don't have enough. We don't have money for this. We don't have McDonald's money. It was just like literally, we don't have it, and that's it. You had to deal with it. But there was never a conversation about investing money or even saving money or what you can do with money. And then the truth is, a lot of people like me, our parents they're immigrants. So they come from a third world country where you're not thinking about saving or investing or any of these things. You're thinking about surviving. And then I feel like that translates over to their kids, and then now their kids are in survival mode, which is not the way you're supposed to live at all. And another reason why I think most people are broke is because, it's just normal. And if everyone around you is living the exact same way, then people don't see it as an issue, because everyone else is broke. So why complain about it? And it's normal for people to, on Fridays, get paid and then by Monday be broke. Like, it's just normal. Like, people don't really sit down and think about it. And I think having the conversation about money is super important, because there's a famous quote, I don't know from who, can't think about it off the top of my head, but it goes, if you don't know how to make money while you sleep, you'll work for the rest of your life. And I think that quote is so important if you really think about it. If you just literally work all the time, you get paid on Fridays, you work, you spend all your money every single week, you're literally going to work until the day you die. And I don't think people fully understand that. For example, sometimes I go to this Dunkin' Donuts and there's like a 70-year-old lady working there. When I go to Home Depot, it's like an 80-year-old man ringing the stuff up. And I know it's kind of fucked up, but I think those were the people that when they were younger, they said, you can't take the money with you when you die. And then, ironic enough, what happens if you actually make it till 70, 80 years old with that mindset? Now you have nothing to show for. You lived your entire life, and you're still working, and you're gonna probably have to work till the day you die. And I think that's so crazy to think about, because all people really have to do is invest into real estate, invest into stocks, invest into something that is gonna produce money for you. Because if not, you're literally gonna work for the rest of your life. And this is what I'm doing myself now. So now, any money that I make, I'm trying to reinvest it into real estate, because that's what I do. And then with the money that I get from real estate is how I want to live my life. So that way my money would never run out. So I can spend whatever money, but it's always going to keep reoccurring. It's going to keep coming back to me. So if I could only live off rent money, that means I would never go broke. And then the return on that is literally endless, because to buy properties, you just got to put a down payment. The down payment you're going to get back from the rents. And then it's going to always produce money, after expenses, CapEx, and all these other things, taxes, insurance. But it's always going to be producing money. And then another way is through the S&P 500. I know a lot of people on YouTube love the S&P 500 because it's stress-free. And if you would invest in the S&P 500 for 30, 40 years, you will be a millionaire. But people don't want to wait 30, 40 years. But the crazy thing is those 30, 40 years are going to pass by regardless. So why not just throw $100, $200 a month into the S&P 500, just let it grow? Because I'm also doing that as well. Because let's say everything I'm doing goes to shit. My business goes down, everything falls apart. But if I was just simply putting $100 a month into the S&P 500 for 30, 40 years, I'm going to have a good chunk of money where I could probably safely retire. And then another stat that's kind of mind-blowing to me is that only 18% of Americans, individual Americans, make $100,000 a year. And then I believe it's like 32% of households in America make $100,000 a year. And then out of all those people, 50% of them live paycheck to paycheck. Once you kind of like take a step back and think about this, it kind of makes sense. The lifestyle that everyone's showing on social media is not realistic. And most of these people are spending all their money just like proving that they have money, which is a crazy concept, because you're literally putting up all your money to show people you have money. And then at the end of the day, the rich people that are actually rich laugh at these people. I have a lot of friends that are millionaires, and I'm trying to learn as much as I can from them. And they literally wear old, regular, probably Walmart jeans, whatever t-shirts. They don't dress up. They just own a whole bunch of real estate. They're multimillionaires. And you would never tell they're millionaires. You can't tell by their cars. You can't tell by their house. You can't tell by the jewelry. You can't tell. You can't really tell. And the reason is because people that have money don't want to show that they have money. They're living paycheck to paycheck to keep this life going. And of a really good book that I would recommend is Richest Man in Babylon. And it literally the book is about paying yourself first, investing into something, and living below your means. That's literally the secret. And it's boring. It's boring advice. It's not sexy advice. So people are probably not going to, pay it any mind. But that's the trick. Don't spend more money than you make. Invest the money that you do make, and try to live off the money that you get from your investments. I know it's easy to say and it's hard to do. And that's kind of the reason why I'm making these videos. I struggle with that as well. Like, I'm one of these people that I've made $100,000 a year, but there's times where I need another check. I got to close another deal or I'm going to be screwed. And it's because I put up all the money that I have into more properties. So I'm technically investing everything I make. So I get myself stuck in these positions, but eventually I think if I'm broke off investments, and not broke off buying dumb shit, then eventually I'll be free. And that's kind of the goal, and that's what I'm trying to pursue here. Another reason I think people are broke is because they're always like partying, clubbing, they're always celebrating. But what are you celebrating? If you're in debt, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you're stressed about money, but whenever you do get money, you want to go have some drinks and celebrate. You're living backwards. Like, what are you celebrating? You're celebrating failure. You're celebrating poverty. I don't understand. Like, if it's your birthday or your friend's birthday and they're going out, then yeah, by all means, I'll go too. But I'm not gonna go every single week just to spend all the money I got to pay overpriced bottles. Like, I got clients that own clubs, and they give me the breakdown of how much money they make on the bottles, and it's insane. To me, it's like a great business. I would love to have a club, just because people just do dumb shit. And especially when you start drinking, then they do more dumb shit, and they buy more bottles that are overpriced. And then the only person winning from the club is the club owner. I think once you start looking deep into these things, you see how dumb it is, and why I don't want to be a part of it. But you're not gonna catch me every single week celebrating, because I got goals to hit. And just celebrating all the time is like, why even have goals if you're already living like you won? And I think that's probably the issue right there, is people are living life like they already won. But I don't think I could change you, or I don't think I could say something that would change your life just in 2 minutes. I think what really happens, I think you want to see the change, or you want to change yourself, and then you actually make that happen. And I think that's the only way people actually change. It's when they've had enough and they're sick of their circumstances and they're sick of their situation, and then they're like, okay, I'm finally gonna change. To me, saving is dumb. But again, take my advice with a grain of salt. I'd rather just invest all the money I have, because I'm living my life a little different. It's either I'm going to be a millionaire or I'm going to be homeless. But there is no in between. Rather just invest all my money and just make it happen. Most people that are powerless, they think that there's nothing they could do about their financial situation. And they blame it on presidents too. They blame it on Donald Trump. They blame it on Joe Biden. But the truth is, I made six figures when Donald Trump was president, and I made six figures when Joe Biden was president. And I, as a man, I can't let who the president is or what's going on control my ability to make money. So they have no power over me. That's why this is probably not the best opinion, but I could care less who's president. I'm going to be successful regardless, and you can too. I think another reason why most people are broke is because social media and entertainers specifically, like movie stars, rappers, and athletes, basketball players, boxers, MMA guys. I think following those people is so bad for you if you don't have the right mindset, because you're just looking at them, you see the money they spend, and then you feel bad about your life, so you buy yourself something. Or let's say you worked hard all week, so you feel like you deserve to buy something, and in reality, all you're doing is spending all your money that could potentially make you more money. You're gonna be in this hamster wheel of always trying to make more money to buy more dumb shit, make more money, buy more dumb shit, and you're never going to be able to get out of it, because you're going to be broke. So my advice is budget, invest 10% of every dollar you make, live below your means, use your money to buy investments, use the returns to live your life. That way you'll never be broke. And final thing is, stop buying dumb shit. I'll see you guys on the next one.